Hello and welcome to the final episode of this save. It was meant to be a small 2-season thing as I got to grips with FM22 with PSV because my messmate Steve got me this shirt, which I love and very thankful for. Unfortunately, because of the time of year that the Football Manager came out and due to personal life stuff, this has taken a lot longer than I intended. I don't know if I'm going to take a break, and if I do, it won't be very long for the next save, but I'm looking to get straight back into things with a fully fledged, long-term project save that is close to my heart, shall we say. So, looking forward to doing that, but enough about the future. We are in the present, and we've got 3 games left to finish this league season off. Feyenoord away, Hertha Berlin at home, and then Vitesse away. I would love to win it at home in front of the fans, but I doubt that's going to happen, seeing as though Ajax have barely dropped points all season. But we've got 3 points on them now. As long as we don't slip up and let them back into this, we're good to go. I'm going to record all 3 of these matches. I'll probably only show you the one after this that we win the league, and whether that's Hertha Berlin or Vitesse. Assuming we do. I mean, I could always slip up against Hertha Berlin, and then who knows? We don't want that to happen. But anyway, here we are. Feyenoord away. The team that are currently 3rd in the league. A team we have beaten in the past. And a team I have no love lost for, because they have one player that I cannot stand. Todd Cantwell returns. We did make money on him in the end, but it was the way he left. You know, we thought we were beneath him, and you know what? He has had a better season, and he probably wouldn't have played as much in our side. But with 3 games to go, who's at the top of the table? Todd Cantwell. So let's go out there and show him and all the Ajax fans and the whole of the Netherlands who is the best team in the country. Going out there today is going to be Kolar in net, a back 4 of Mwene, Diomitschi, Marthau and Max, a midfield 3 of Barak, Sangali and Buendia, and a front 3 of Gakpo, Cesco and Boga. We have injuries to talk about. Hataboa and Talita are both suspended, and then Van Ginkel is still injured. It's looking very unlikely that he will return for the rest of the season. So our captain is out kind of permanently. We've got some tired, unsharp players on the bench as well, but we can't really be thinking about their fitness. We've got to think about the best team that we can put out there to win this game. And I think this is it. So we're going to go out there with 1 less than the maximum allowed on the bench and not worry too much about it. Does Todd Cantwell start? I'm assuming so. He's been ever present for them this season. And he does. I don't think there's anybody else out there that I even rate apart from Senzi, who is on our short list. But he will never grace this lovely shirt. So, pick it up from the last performance. We need a victory. If we stay perfect, we win the league. And we've been so good all season. It really does come down to this. An early highlight here has us playing out from the back. Marçal to Diomitschi. I think they've been a great pairing, to be honest. The only times they've looked even a little bit fragile is when Westergard comes in. And as much as I like Westergard, his downfall is he's very slow, and we tend to play quite high up the pitch. So, you know, that's that. That's why I picked quite pacey centre-backs. Sangali picks up the ball, charging at the Feyenoord right flank. Plays it all the way back to Mwene. Diomitschi's got plenty of room in the middle if he wants to find a pass through it. Finds Marçal instead. Barak finds Boga, and Boga's been brought down, and that's a penalty to PSV. It absolutely is. He's consulting VAR, but that's a definite FM22 penalty, no doubt about it. Good stuff. And Philip Max is on the pitch, so he will be taking this penalty. And how many does this take him for the season? I think it's 10. It is. He scored 10 penalties this season. Oh, well, no, that's including free kicks, actually. So maybe not that many. But a very calm penalty from our top penalty marksman there. The goalkeeper does go the right way, but it was a well-struck penalty. It was right in the corner, so it was never getting there, even if he does go the right way. Free kick here for Feyenoord. Kolar can keep it out and Wene can pick up the pieces. It was a good effort that from the free kick. Got to be wary of that. We don't want to be giving them too many of those opportunities. As this series comes to a close, I didn't really know much about Dutch football at all. And it's been a really fun learning experience doing this. And, seeing the shortfalls of the league as well. It is very much I hesitate to say a two-team league because, Ajax are just so dominant. I know PSV are clearly the second best, maybe fighting with Feyenoord in real life. But other than that, it's a very dominated league at the moment. And the way that Ajax conduct business, selling players for massive amounts of money in the Champions League every season, it's not hard to see how this has happened, really. It was part of the reason why I wanted to do this save was to, overthrow the Ajax domination of the league. Because I thought somebody should. These teams in real life haven't really been given a chance to. Wene is injured. That's not good. We haven't got any more right backs. That's a lie. Teze can come on. Yeah. We love Jordan Teze. And that is definitely one of those names I've been pronouncing wrong the entire time. Cantwell's had a terrible game. He's on a 6.6, which is great. And Teze can mark him for good as well. Free kick here. Buendia tries to find Gakpo, but Cantwell can pick it up and is charging at us. I don't like this. Take the ball from him. Great interception there from Marthau. Cesco, who's been unusually quiet today. Boga finds Gakpo on the left. Cross comes in for Cesco. It's really deep, past everybody. Teze can have a go on the right-hand side, though. Cuts back to Singali. Cesco, was it offside? Feel like it might have been. I'm going to echo something that I think a lot of Football Manager players and creators have been saying, and that is the VAR. I'm a fan of VAR in real life. I think the tool is excellent. I don't think it's always used properly. I love the fact that it's in this game. I think it's smart. I don't think they've got it right yet, though. I think that there's a lot of unnecessary VAR checks that kind of just take a bit too long, I'm glad that the referee doesn't go over to the monitor anywhere near as much because that was time consuming. So that's a good thing. But, it's one of those things that will just get better, throughout time. And it's, it's a niggling little, critique I have of the game. But I have no doubt that eventually they'll sort it out, But until then, I'm going to continue to be bothered by it. Other than bringing on Torres on the left for Gakpo, I don't know what subs to make. I'm loving Goetze at the moment because he scored that amazing goal against Ajax, but I guess we bring him on in midfield. Can be in the Mazzala instead of Barak. We'll go with that. We have only got the 1 goal cushion here. Are we still on attacking? Because we shouldn't be. Oh yeah, we are. Great. We'll drop some praise on balanced just to retain a bit more possession than we were. But to be fair to Feyenoord, it's been a pretty even game. Same shots, same on target. We've had a better quality of chances, though. I guess a penalty will do that. And a penalty is all it takes sometimes. We are a team that scores a lot of goals, but I'm not against the 1-0s against the important ones. So that's the first hurdle over and done with. A calm, cool penalty from Philip Max getting the job done today. Our attacking players not really impressing, but our defensive players doing enough to ensure the win. So that takes us 6 points away from Ajax, who have got a game in hand, and I fully expect them to win that. So I guess we'll come back for... you know what? Let's just ignore Herreveren and we'll just come back for VATs. Sounds like a good thing. It's the final game of the season and the final game of this save. And a point is good enough for us to achieve our goal to snatch the league away from Ajax in 2 seasons. And it's VATs away. I've had to do a few things. We beat Herenveen 3-2. Was much more difficult than I anticipated. We had 2 early goals, a free kick and a penalty from Philip Max. He is absurd, by the way. We were then clawed back to 2-2, And then Lucas Singali comes off the bench and chips the goalkeeper from like 40 yards. It was mental. So excellent work from Singali off the bench, and keeps us looking good for the league title anyway. So yeah, the team today that's going to go out there and hopefully win the title for us is going to be Kolar in net, a back four of Hateboer, Diamichti, Marthal and Max, a midfield three of Barak, Taliso and Buendia, and a front three of Gakpo, Cesco and Boga. And I would argue that this is probably our best team and best setup. It's our best 11 at the moment. I've had to give Boga some injections because he picked up a knock, and I wanted him to just be available for the last match of the season. As too did Sander Barto, and believe you me, he's coming off the bench. There's no way I'm letting the last game of the season and last game of the series go by without this lad coming on. I just want to keep him forever. I want to play this save for 13 years plus and see how he turns out, because he's going to be incredible. He's going to be one of the top strikers in the world for a long, long, long time. He's already great. I don't know. He's just really cool when you get a new gen like this. And Sander Barto is going to be a name that means a lot to me for a long time. So yeah, let's get into this game. The only people that are missing out is Carlos Viniscus, who we really not needed since we brought in Cesco. Van Ginkel, who is still injured, so club captain misses out. And Baumgartel, who we don't really need on the bench. You know, we've got Westergard, so that's that. Let's go into the game. We know Gakpo is tired. We know that Boga is carrying a knock, but we've got to be good for a point here. Let's get into the game. Come on. I'm excited. We need to win the title. Let's give the fans a title party at full time. Only 2 people were bothered by that. Come on. It's the last game of the season and we can actually win the league and take it away from Ajax. How is everybody not absolutely pumped about this? Max with a corner and Cesco heads over from it. Nice cheeky little early highlight. Hateboer picking up a yellow card in the first minute, which I always find really impressive. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that in real football more than once. VAT's with a free kick of themselves here, and I was going to say, I really don't want to go behind here. I don't fancy, having to turn this around, but it looks like they're going to fashion a chance of some description here. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's not good. The script was not to go 1-0 down less than 15 minutes into this game. I will level with you, that's not what I thought was going to happen. Looks like we're doing it the hard way then. So, as of right now, let's just pause this. I'm going to get rid of the VAT stats because we don't need to see that. Let's look at the league table. League table has us still first because of Ajax not winning yet. But as you can see, Ajax have a better goal difference than we do. Even with the -1 that we just got, it'd be up to 69. So Ajax still have a better goal difference. So we actually can't afford to lose here. Otherwise, we will lose the title. Can't be doing that. Cannot be doing that whatsoever. So I'm expecting a reply here, boys. You've been so good all season. I've been, throwing plaudits all over you. So let's do the business. Taliso to Boga, who's picking up the injury. Gakpo with a header, and it's just wide. Cool to see our wide players combining like that. Gakpo's already done, which is an issue. I'm going to get into half time because I think he can manage it. But ever since we didn't let Gakpo go, I think it wasn't to Chelsea. That's where we sold Madueke. I don't know. Somebody came in for Gakpo, and he was not. It was Juventus, and he wasn't happy that we didn't let him go. As of right now, Ajax top of the league. So let's change that, please, boys. I don't want to see this. Marthal to Max. Undoubtedly our best player. Puts the ball across for Cesco. It's headed away. VAT is looking to play it out. Can we pick it up again and fashion something new? Or VAT is going to have another shot here. They're playing very well for a team that's clearly mid-table. Oh, that's come off the crossbar. Woo! I'm not sure how much Kolar knew about that, but I think it just came straight off the crossbar. Buendia with a free kick. The goalkeeper, instinctively moved over before the ball was struck there. That was interesting. Follows up with the corner. Goes to the back post and goes out of play. This is not how, champions perform, guys. Let's pick up the pace, shall we? Big kick out. That's surely going to gift us possession here. Yep, MVPete can receive that ball and we can play forward. Barak. Gakpo. Come on. Max. Buendia. Max again. Cesco. He's very good at coming wide and cutting back across, and Gakpo hits the crossbar. Oh. It's something I've noticed in Cesco's play. He's so good at picking up the ball, turning the defenders, and just trying to lay it on a plate for whoever's coming in behind him. MVPete, Tolisso. Got a lot of men forward here. Hateboer, Cesco. Just wide. That was a big opportunity. Definitely the biggest of the half. And we go into half-time behind and in second place in the league. That's not good. We need much better in the second half. How's Gakpo doing? Yeah, let's get Gakpo off. He's clearly tired. Left-hand side, I guess it's Facundo Torres coming on. Because I don't think there's a lot else we can do with that. Still lacking depth in the wide areas ever since Noni Madueke left. So 60 minutes gone. I was about to pause and make some tactical tweaks, but the highlight beat me to it. VATs are playing out down the left, or our left there, right-hand side. Right back to the centre-backs. Can we press them and make something happen, please? We've got a lot of men forward. Surely if we pick it up, we're in a really good position. Marcel with a big challenge there, but we couldn't retain possession. Oh, he's been squeezed through there. Comes out. Oh, no, that's not a penalty. It's not a pen. It's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. Ref, don't even do it. It's not a penalty. Oh, Kolar. The title is literally in your hands right now. You dropped it, mate. You dropped it. Okay. 2-0 down. And first thing I'm going to do is drop a demand more and change the way that this is going. Buendia has been terrible. We're going to put him out to the right-hand side. We're going to bring on Hero Goetze through the middle. And Philip Max is knackered. But he's our best player. But he's having a terrible game. Oh, this is hard. This is very difficult. I'm going to leave things as they are for now. Proceed with the tactical change. Go very attacking. And we've already demanded more. Is that our free kick? I think it might be. Philip Max is stood over it. Free kick king. I mean, Marthal just popped up out of nowhere. I was expecting a shot on goal there. Max the free kick. Cesco hits the back of the net. Back into this. One goal. One goal to win the league. That's all we need now. Instant highlight from the kickoff. Oh boy. So tense. This is terrifying. It really is. VT is playing it forward. Hateboer with the headed clear. Buendia plays in Cesco. Finds Torres. Facundo Torres! Come on! Come on, boys! Great play. The VT's defence just falls apart. We just pick them to pieces. Excellent play from Buendia and especially Cesco here, who instead of running on to take the shot, just takes a beat, sees Torres completely free, and he just smashes it into the top corner. Oh, boy. Right. What we're going to do now is definitely bring Philip Max off. I know he's having a good game, but he's really tired. Wene can come on, and we're going to drop to balanced. Confirm those changes. And press play on this. We're now top of the league again. We're going to drop some praise. Keep everybody happy. Nobody liked that. Nobody likes me praising them for going for a 2-2 draw. We're going to win the league if it stays like this, guys. Like, just think about that. I'm happy, aren't you? Oh, Kolar fumbled it there, I think. There was 3 bodies and hands and ball and I don't know. It looked messy, whatever happened. And it was worthy of a highlight. 10 minutes to go to the title. Can we hold on? Come on, hold on. I know I said I'd bring Barto on, but considering the circumstances, I really couldn't. And in the scrappiest way possible, we've won the league. Oh, man, that was crazy. I can't believe we went 2-0 down. We nearly threw it all away. The whole work we've put into this, 2 seasons worth, and we nearly just went, you know what? Nah, we're good. Don't need it. Can't be bothered. Trophy in the air, and that's a double for PSV this season. The Dutch Cup and the Dutch League. Officially the best team in the Netherlands. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I love my big purple suit as well. I like the way I'm a giant. It's so funny. Never ceases to amuse me. That was stressful. None of that was enjoyable whatsoever. Oh, man. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. We are champions. And we have achieved our goal by 1 point. Absolutely by the skin of our teeth. We've taken the league dominance away from Ajax. I'm really proud. Really proud. We do the double. Cesco can get a goal bonus. Sure, whatever. Jeremy Boga's probably injured forever now. That's fine. You know, we've done it. We've absolutely done it. It's been how long? 5 years since PSV last won the title. Ever since then, Ajax domination. Not anymore. Yeah, Sander Barto, there's his injury, even though he didn't come on. And Cesco, my man Cesco, who's been unbelievable since he signed. 14 goals from 11 games, 4 assists, 5 player of the matches, averaging an 8.03. Bonkers stuff. Right, well, now that we've done the hard bit, let's bask in our glory, have a look at the end of season review and the save review. So it's the end of season review, and you can see these 2 lovely little trophies down here. The Eredivisie and the Dutch Cup. Both very nice things to have, especially in the same season. So we'll go through the new arrivals. Signing of the season goes to Cesco, does it? Yeah, Cesco, obviously. I mean, he's been invaluable to us. Averaged an 8.31 in the end. Total 14 appearances, 1 substitute, 22 goals and 6 assists. He did something crazy like 3 hat-tricks within his first 5 games or something bonkers like that. Yannick Westergard coming in and providing some really useful cover for £2 million. I was shocked that a player of that caliber was available. And yes, he is slow. I know he's slow, but he's very good defensively. 6'6". Unfortunately, only scored 1 goal. I expected a few more than that, but you know, fair enough. We had Luke de Jong come in as well. Couldn't resist bringing this legend back in before we had Cesco. You know, I think that was a really good deal for us. And he definitely provided some really important goals, especially early in the season as well, when we were playing him as our main striker. Hans Hateboer, I really like him. He yet again, quite an older player, not my usual signing. Like these 3 especially, not the age I would normally sign players at, but they had the ability. And most of them were Dutch, which helped. So, I'm glad to get him in. Buendia, I mean, I'll admit, I wouldn't say he's £30 million worth of player. And I was going to play him out wide until he insisted on being played on the in the middle. But for the transfer window we had, you know, there wasn't much else we could get, not because we didn't have the money, but because they didn't want to play for us. So if they didn't want to play for us, they weren't going to discuss terms. So we had to get what we could, and Buendia was definitely one of the top 3 ability-wise available to us in the January transfer window. That's why we moved for him. And to be fair to him, not bad at all. 16 games, 2 off the bench, 4 goals, 9 assists. I don't think that's bad at all. And then Barak, really liked having this guy around. 6 goals and 4 assists, averaging 7.2, comes in cheap. Tolisso as well was an important figure on the field and off the field. Like, he just had that winner's mentality, and he spurred most of the other players on. He did a lot of like team meetings and such. Just a winner through and through. Sangali as well scored a lot of important goals, you know, at crucial moments, really. So wouldn't even dream of not having him around. Boga, who came in on a free, I think a great signing considering he came in for no money. I don't think he's the best winger in the world. I'd probably say that, you know, Gakpo and Madueke were better than him in every sense. But, you know, we had to sell Madueke, and he was good. He was good. He could have been better, but he was good. Marthau, really, really massive signing for us. Just, for me, shored up our back, you know, our centre-back situation. You know, we had, when I came in, great attacking options, but our defence was so poor, and the goalkeeping situation was so poor. And that's where Ondrej Kolar came in as well. I think he was great. He played 50 games for us this season. 50 games is absurd, considering it's not even a full 20-team league. You know, it's mad. It's mad. Transfers out. Going to go through the important ones. Obviously, Todd Cantwell. Boo! Boo, Todd Cantwell. He went to Feyenoord and was wrong. Noni Madueke. Yeah, I mean, he's the one, isn't he? He was amazing for us. He really, really was. Especially this season. 11 games, 7 goals, 5 assists, 3 player of the matches. That is crazy good form. And he's just looking at his stats as well. He really came of age, which is why Chelsea spent all that money on him. And in the end, he did okay. I think he went the first 6 games without a goal. Can we even see form? No, we can't. Not like we can anyway. But yeah, I think the first 6 games he played for me didn't score, but he scored 2 in 2 since then and had a player of the match. So he's getting, you know, he's taking his time to adjust, which is fair enough. Sean Longstaff, who came in on a free, I didn't play him very much, and then left. You know, I'm happy about that. we got him a profit. You know, £6 million from nothing is pretty good business, I think. Joe Drommel was never good enough to be our goalkeeper, so glad to get shot of him. He can go off to Shakhtar any day of the week. Romaldo, you know, just wasn't good enough. He was okay, but I was glad to find a better replacement and get him off our books. Maximilian Romero, yeah, again, not good enough. That's just the theme with most of the players that went. You know, they were okay squad options, didn't really get in the team very much. I think the same here of Mario Jr. Managed to sell him for £3 million. I think that's a good deal. Agu, you know, he was getting better. He was a player I signed, but for £4.5 million, which allowed us to buy Hatabor, I think that was a no-brainer. Safari, yet again, he was good in the first season we had him, and we played him a lot. But yeah, £2 million at 30, however old he is, 34 years old he would have been, or he could have even been 35 at the time. I couldn't say no, really. So that's fine. Looking at this as well, who has Doan? Yeah, I mean, £15 million for a middling winger. I'm going to snap your hand off every time. That was a great bit of business by us. Allowed us to bring in a lot better players. Gutierrez as well. I really liked Gutierrez as a player, but £5 million is a good amount of money, and we were really stacked in midfield. Really stacked. Looking at the season results, obviously we finished first, 95% average attendance, and Luke de Jong was our top competition goal scorer, but Cesco was not far behind. Not far behind at all. Champions, 91 points, a goal difference of 69. There you go. 29 wins, 4 draws, which came against VTs in the last day, Wilhelm 2, Niemgen, and Ajax. And then our one loss was to AZ away. You know, we were... And that was really early in the season as well. Really early. So, incredible form. Only dropping points in 5 games all season. That's pretty good. But Ajax, it had to take a season like that to win, to become champions, because Ajax are so good and so clearly head and shoulders above the rest of the teams in this league. So we really couldn't afford to slip up. Champions League, we got beat by Sporting. And then the Euros, we got beat by Leipzig. I was really mad about that one. But to be honest, it probably helped us in the long run achieve the league title because we weren't distracted. We were distracted a little bit by the Dutch Cup, but that was only 5 games. And it was done quite early on. So I was happy to win that as well. But the European competitions were very, inconsequential to us. We really didn't mind. Moments to remember, we had a 7-0 victory against Besiktas in the Euro Cup, which I remember fondly. It was very nice. The match to remember, we won 4-0 against Go Ahead Eagles. Goal from Madueke, De Jong, and 2 for Gakpo. And then goal of the season was by Proper. Just banged one in from 24 yards. Fair enough. Finances, obviously, sponsorships gone up. Broadcast revenues dropped massively. I couldn't tell you why. That's crazy. Corporate was whatever. Prize money has dropped massively as well. Like by half. I guess we do get quite far in the Champions League. I'm forgetting that. Maybe that's what it was. We have increased our club reputation, which is nice. Up to a 4-star club now. Shirt sold. Cesco, my man, is number 1. Followed by De Jong, Tolisso, Proper. And then the goal that made it all happen, Facundo Torres. How we lined up this season. Kolar in there, a back 4 of Hateboer, Westergard, Diamichti and Max. A midfield 3 of Sengali, Tolisso and Torres. And a front 3 of Gakpo, Cesco and Madueke. Obviously, Madueke is no longer with us. I'd argue Westergard definitely doesn't deserve to be in front of Marthal. And Buendia is probably in here as well. But other than that, it looks pretty solid to me. We didn't get any manager awards at all. I'm not mad, you are. Fans player of the season, Max. Young player of the season, Cesco. Goal of the season was obviously David Proper that we saw before. Most assists was Max with 13, Luke de Jong with 23 goals. And average ratings were Max as well. Very nice to see. We broke a few records. Benjamin Cesco scored 5 goals in a league game, which is the most ever. And then Max with 11 player of the matches in a season. We also had our biggest transfer fee for Cesco and our biggest transfer fee received for Noni Madueke there. History in the making. It was everything we could have hoped for and more, to be honest, with the Dutch Cup as well. So the hard work and effort paid on and off the pitch. Why can I never read these right? Your hard work and effort paid off on the pitch. That's why I keep tripping up. And such a feat didn't go unwarranted at our end of season award ceremony. I'm going to blame the background. I don't know. I just probably can't read. That's probably what's going on here. But yeah, I'm just so incredibly proud of all the boys. For what was meant to be a really short save, 2 seasons worth, we took our time about it, and I can only apologise. I know this took a while to get out, but, FM decides to come out around the busiest time of the year for the industry that I work in, and then it just happened to be a doubly strenuous time from personal reasons and COVID and all that kind of good stuff. But let's look back over those 2 seasons to see what really happened and how it went down and what we think PSV could achieve in the future. So just going back to our transfer history, in the first season that we were here, Agu was our first transfer. We ended up selling him for a massive profit. He ended up playing 28 games for us, 2 assists, and averaging somewhere between a 7 and a 7.23. He was a good defender, he was a good player, and I quite liked having Agu around. But if someone comes in for £4.5 million for a player I bought for less than £1 million, considering it was a short-term save, he's not going to stick around, right? And next on the list, Diamichti, probably one of the most important signings of the save. He was and is an excellent centre-back. As soon as we brought him in for £4.3 million from Atalanta, he's averaged pretty much a 7.35 between the 2 seasons. He's got over 50 appearances now for PSV, and I love the guy. I can't speak highly enough of Berat Diamichti. And I can only hope that I get to manage him in the future. If not, I wish him a lovely retirement. I know he's one of the players that's a little bit older than most of the squad, but stats in all the right places, averaged a value of between 27 and 33 million pounds. In the end, if a Premier League club came in for him, we could expect a big payday. So nice to see Berat in there. Todd Cantwell, I had high hopes for. We brought him in for not a lot of money, £3.6 million. He had 8 goals, 3 assists, and 1 player of the match in his season with us. Then he decided that we were not big enough for him and left for Feyenoord, who finished 3rd in the league, I believe. They did. 69 points. In the end, they were 22 points away from us. He probably got more game time, but I think Todd Cantwell made the wrong decision. And that being the case for the next FM, the current FM, and football in general for future reference, I now have a grudge against Todd Cantwell because of what he did in this save. He left us to go to Feyenoord because he thought he was better than us. He was not. And we proved him wrong, which was nice to see. Facundo Torres, I mean, we have him to thank for our league-winning goal in the end. He was the one that powered it past the goalkeeper and allowed us to have the title. £5.5 million from Penarel. He's been an option for most FM players this season. He's a good player. The only thing I would say about him is he does not like having the pressure of big games. It doesn't really show it here, but I know that is not something that this player enjoys. And he's been good. I don't think he's been unbelievable. I don't think he's been outstanding. I think he's been consistent. And as a attacking midfielder, a player position that I believe that FM doesn't reward very highly in terms of average ratings, I think he's done all right. Considering he's on a 7, I'll take that. I think he's been worth it, and that's it, really. Facundo Torres, I would recommend, but I'll just remind everyone that FM does not like cams this year round. That was a non-sequential transfer. Jeremy Boga, now, yeah, okay. Comes on a free. I think it'll be a very popular transfer for most FM players this time round. Did well for us, averaged over a 7 goals in 26 appearances, 3 assists, 1 player of the match. He didn't light the world on fire, but he was okay. He was semi-consistent and got us a few goals in the making. Very quick, that is his main attribute. He's got okay finishing, better long shots, but if you can take advantage of his acceleration and his agility and his pace, that is where Jeremy Boga's true ability lies and how I'd recommend using him. He is wanted by Atalanta with an average estimate value of 33 to 44 million pounds. Even if we end up with 33, the low end of it, that's pretty good for a player that we didn't pay a penny for. Moving on from Jeremy Boga, Sean Longstaff was a player that came in for free, played 3 games for us, did okay, but we sold to Bayer Leverkusen for £6 million. That was clearly a player I took a punt on, and he didn't end up playing that much, and I sold at a massive profit. Admittedly, I thought a Premier League would come in for him, but Bayer Leverkusen, sure, you can have him £6 million. Not a problem. After that, Lucas Singali came in on a free as well from Real Sociedad. I know he only scored 6 goals and had 4 assists and 1 player of the match, but I'd argue that he was one of the players that really changed our season. He scored some very important goals from us, and he was invaluable. And I think he got better and better. And now at 28 years of age, I think he's ready to really lead this midfield. But you know what? I'm glad with the the ability that he provided for us in the time that he was here. And I definitely don't regret signing Luca Singali for no money. Other than that, we've spent £5.5 million on Odrej Kolar. You know what? I'm on the fence. I really am, because 34 appearances, conceded 27 goals. He had 14 clean sheets. I'm going to say that's a good amount of clean sheets for the top division in the Eredivisie. There were other goalkeepers available for that kind of price, and maybe my scouts led me astray. But he was good enough for what we wanted. Was he the absolute best? I'm not convinced. He is wanted by Granada. I'm not sure how much they'd pay for him. I don't know how much more it would be than the money that we paid for him, the $5.5 million. But he has some good stats. I'm not sure I saw his full potential in this season. I mean, we did win the league. Fair enough. 14 clean sheets. I kind of expected more from Ondrej Kolar. That's just my opinion. That being said, we sold plenty of players. We signed CJ and Egan Riley and then sent him all over to Stockport. There was some big transfers in this window. Let's have a little look. See, Doan for 15 million is incredible sale, to be honest. I know he's Japanese, so they have their average value is higher because of the income that they can bring in from the shirt sales, but this is not a £15 million player, I can tell you. 24 appearances, 1 goal, nothing else, averaged a 6.69. I think Norwich might be looking at that transfer and thinking, why did we do that? Other than that, Bascagli forced his way out of the club. 25 years of age to Marseille. Averaged over a 7. And they ended up finishing where? Can we look at their final place? Finished 3rd. Fair enough. But you know what? He is French. I get he wanted to play in his homeland. But Bascagli, I thought, was a good player for us. And I wouldn't have sold him unless he literally forced his way out. So that is the way things are. Bruma, Murray Jr., George Rommel, and Ryan Thomas, even Aaron Safari and Obispo, all players that were in and around the first team squad in the first season, all of which I would argue that they're just not good enough for what we wanted to achieve. And I would also argue that we've brought in better replacements. So I allowed them all to leave for varying monetary values. And that's all I have to say about those players. The only one I would say is Ryan Thomas. I don't know. We probably could have given a better opportunity, considering he scored a very important goal. Doesn't show it here, but he did. He scored an important goal for us before I sold him to Cagliari. And then he ended up being sold to Vancouver a few years later. So, honestly, judging on this, I think we made the right decision. Second season in charge, bringing Tolisso on for a free was one of the coups of the season, to be honest. I know he's 28 years old. He's got nearly 30 caps for France now. But just a player that is just generally good. He's got great physical attributes, great mental attributes, and his technicals are semi-decent, if not good. Looking over the season, he only scored 1 goal and had 3 assists, but averaged over a 7. And for a box-to-box midfielder, I think that's actually pretty good. In most of the team meetings I had near the end of the season where we were pushing for the league, Tolisso was the man to lead the line, to guide the team. And that being said, he was a natural-born winner. And that's all that can be really said about Florentin Tolisso. I think he was a good player and yet again a great option for most Football Manager players of this season, coming up on a free. Luke de Jong came in for £5.75 million. Ended up scoring 18 goals in 22 appearances, 2 assists, 2 player matches, averaging a 7.36. Those are some great numbers and were hampered by the arrival of Cesco. We had very little in the way of attacking options, hence why we sold Safari. We brought in Luke de Jong because he was an ex-PSV player. He's played at Sevilla and Barcelona since. Came back, did great in the Eredivisie, and I don't regret it one bit. He was great and still is pretty decent. I know at 32 years old, his ability is declining, but I think we had an issue. We identified the possible solution. We brought him in, and he absolutely served his purpose. Luke de Jong, PSV legend, no doubt. Is he on the preferred personnel list? That's the question. Somehow, no. Philip Max is on the favoured personnel, and no one else is anywhere else. I can't believe I'm not in the icons list, to be honest. Leading them to their first league title in however many years. After Luke de Jong's arrival, we brought in Yannick Westergard for a snip at £2 million. I know he's old. I know he's not my, normal kind of purchase in Football Manager, but considering Leicester paid £14 million for him the season before, he was a really good cover option. Played 18 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 player matches, and 7.5 on an average rating. He even made it into the team of the year ahead of Marthau, which is quite something considering he played twice as many games as Westergaard. But like I said at the time, I know he's quite slow, but for a player of this quality, £2 million, it's kind of a no-brainer. He's also wanted at the moment by Fulham, and I can pretty much guarantee we'd been making double what we paid for him with the Fulham transfer. So it's quite a good transfer, I would say. He played well in the time he was here, and if we continued this into the future, I bet we'd make some money on him. Speaking of Marthau, he was the next transfer on the list, £17.5 million, coming in from Galatasaray, the Turkish international. Nope, Brazilian, never mind. I know they only paid 3.5, but that was 5 seasons ago, and we really needed a partner at the centre-back. So we had to pay over the odds for a player who was going to deliver in this position. And no sooner as we brought him in, our league position improved, our XG improved, and our conceded goals per game improved. At 26 years old, we could get another 5 or 6 seasons out of him. That's assuming that no one comes in with a big transfer for him. His average in transfer value is 27 to 36 million pounds, which is basically double what we paid for him. And he's a great player. He really enjoyed his time here, and I really enjoyed having him. It was, as a centre-back pairing, it was a no-brainer. And he was great in several attributes. It was just a good purchase. Ended up an influential player in our club dynamics as well. Yet again, just a great player. Really, really good player to have. And he was one of the most expensive ones we brought in the end, in the whole of this save. But without paying that kind of money, we were never going to get the caliber of player that we needed for a successful centre-back partnership. After that, we brought in Anton Barak. You can clearly see I'm going to skip over Ulysses David. He was a 16-year-old Belgian who's, he might be good in the future, but in this short-term save is not an issue. But yeah, Anton Barak, a player from Verona, someone who is coming up to the end of their contract, so he's probably going to be a popular player for most Football Manager players this time round. 28 years old, 41 caps for the Czech Republic in the end, and was excellent for us. I mean, I know he came in and scored, 4 goals in his first league appearance for the side. Ended up on a 7.21, 17 appearances all round, but I really enjoyed having him coming in deep from midfield as a Mazzala. He's got some good finishing, good dribbling, good passing. His work rate was exceptional. Some really good physical attributes. And yet again, an influential player by the end, even though he joined in January. I can't argue with the signing of Anton Barak, and I would sign him again. Hans Hatabora was a replacement for Agu. You know, the sale of him allowed us to buy this player. Also not the kind of age that I would buy players at. 28 years old at the time, 29 years old now. Coming to the end of his career. Because it is a short-term save, that was not something I was considering. And he played very well. It was all about quality, and he had it in abundance. Played for Roma in Serie A and Atalanta for many, many years. He was the kind of player we needed at right back. We had an awesome left back in Philip Max, and we needed someone who was just as good at right back. And that was the answer. Hans Hatabora was really good. And the thing that really stood out for me was his physical attributes. He was maybe not the quickest, acceleration of 14, agility of 11, but his pace of 16, stamina, his work rate, he got up and down that wing like no man's business. It was great to see in the end, and he had a really successful season with us. And that leads us to Benjamin Cesco. Obviously, we sold Noni Madueke for a lot of money, and I wanted a Wonder Kid replacement. And as I've said before, a very common Football Manager player transfer in this game is going to be Benjamin Cesco. He has got one of the highest ability ratings that you can achieve if you can get him in early, and for not a lot of money he could become a world beater, and that's what we saw very early on. 11 appearances, 14 goals, 4 assists, 5 player of the matches, and an average of an 8.03. I know we paid £40 million, but there wasn't a lot up front. Most of it was over the season's incoming. And for more than a goal a game, you need that kind of striker in your side. He's just very good. He's 6'5". That is bizarre. He's so good. His finishing's great. I can't really find a fault with Benjamin Cesco, and I've seen plenty of versions of him through other people's Football Manager saves, and we've ended up with a really good one, considering we're only 2 seasons in. Either way, £40 million I don't think is a lot of money for him, considering we sold Noni Madueke for an exceptional amount of money to Chelsea. Buendia came in after him, yet again, from the Noni Madueke sale. We had plenty of money left over, and at this point, I was just trying to bring in quality where I could find it, and Buendia was absolutely top of the pile that was left. He's got some great crossing ability, his set pieces are great, really good passing. I ideally wanted to play him out on the wing, but he would only sign if we would play him in the middle, which is what we did, and he was pretty decent at it. You know, £30 million, which was cheaper than what Villa paid. Averaged a 7.17 in the end. 6 assists, says he wasn't too bad in the middle of the park. You know, that passing trait of 15 with his vision of 15 really showing. Would I have expected more for that kind of money? Probably. But like I said, he wanted to play in the middle where I would have played Facundo Torres. So we had to play him there and play Facundo Torres out wide, which wasn't ideal. But Emilio Buendia, a great signing for £30 million, and his average cost is still above that. And we're only paying him £45,000 a week, which is quite cheap for an ex-Premier League player. And that's it for what we brought in. What we sold, obviously, Noni Madueke was the biggest sale of the save. He is an exceptional player. I'd rather have kept him than sell him, but I really was backed into a corner. He's now on £135,000 a week for Chelsea, and they paid £56 million. It's an absurd amount of money, and you know, we spent it pretty quickly, but there's still some transfer budget left for many seasons to come for PSV from this sale, and that's what you get for an English wonder kid. It was just awesome. Really, really incredible. In the last season with us, he averaged a 7.88, 7 goals in 11 games with 5 assists and 3 player of the matches. And looking at his actual attributes, he's just awesome. And probably will be a popular option for most FM players. managing English teams, because I'm sure you can get him cheaper than £56 million. I'm absolutely positive of it. But I was more than happy to take Chelsea's money in the end. I know Madueke wanted to go, and I couldn't keep him, but that's the way it panned out. Other than that, obviously we saw the sale of Sean Longstaff. We had Maximilian Romero leave as well. A player that was decent, but not quite good enough. 3 goals in 21 appearances in the Bundesliga kind of proves that. Less than a 7 on his average rating. Todd Cantwell, we don't talk about. Eric Gutierrez, we sold to Torino for £5 million. He didn't have the best of seasons in Serie A. Only 2 assists from midfield, averaged a 6.69. I enjoyed having him. I mean, 6 assists from 24 appearances said that we played him better than Torino did. But it was too good of an opportunity to turn down. And that's kind of it for our sales. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure to manage PSV over the 2 seasons. Obviously, a massive shout out to Steve, my best mate, who bought me this shirt, who was an ex-Ajax manager, not in real life, but obviously on FM. So it was nice to take on Ajax, you know, as he was a fan of them, like a direct competition. PSV are clearly the second best team in the Eredivisie, and Ajax were way above them. I know it only took us 2 seasons to depose them, but it really was close. I mean, only 1 point between us, 2 goal difference, and I made so many transfers. It's unbelievable. Honestly, the actual, you know, team compared to the one that we started with is pretty much unrecognizable. In the first season, we only made £20 million worth of transfers, just about, and sold £36 million worth of players. In the second season, we signed £105 million worth of players, selling $97 million. Obviously, the sale of Noni Madueke helped with that, but that is an absurd money for the team in this division. And like I said, the team in the end is pretty much unrecognizable. Only Philip Max, Cody Gakpo, and that is literally it in the first 11. 2 out of the first 11 are still there. And even then, I'm playing Gakpo on the wrong wing because I need to have Boga on the right. So there's been some changes in the 2 years that I've managed PSV. But like I said, it's been a pleasure. It's been a challenge. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks to Steve for the shirt and this save. And I'll see you next time for whatever else I have in store. I've been MVPete. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.